All right, what is going on, everyone? First and foremost, I want to say thank you for being here right now, watching this video. I do really appreciate for your time, and I would really appreciate if you do consider subscribing, simply because it does truly help me out a lot. Now, going to be reacting to Andrew Tate explains the problem with MrBeast, and basically tells us that at one point MrBeast possibly tried to set him up. I'm not 100% sure, but you know. Without further ado, though, I'm not going to do too much yapping. Let's just play the video, see what Andrew Tate has to say.
Andrew Tate recently explained the problem with the biggest YouTuber in the world, MrBeast, and mainly pointing towards Chris Tyson, that is now a transgender.
You're not even allowed to talk about. Like, how off limits is that topic? Yeah. Because you know what I'm saying. And it's one of those things where if you put it out there, and if we were to say his name and associate it, it's like insta hate.
If you guys have been on any platform like X, you'll know the trans community are very supportive of their own people and do not listen to outside opinions. But the main point that is going to be made in this podcast is the demographic of children is MrBeast's audience. It should that be pushed on them from young? Not the idea of the concept itself, people have their opinions on that, but it's actually the idea of pushing the ideology towards children.
And I enjoy his content. I think he makes fun videos. However, what he's doing is normalizing transgenderism amongst children.
Yes.
It's not amongst adults. The target audience is children.
Yes.
And it's normalization. But if you talk about it.
Well, see, here's the thing that's interesting.
Like, we haven't even said his name. Everyone knows what we're talking about. We can't.
Yeah. And I don't know the guy. And I'll also be honest.
Yeah.
I know the kind of videos he makes. I know he makes like these prank or like these game show videos. I've never watched them, but I do know this. I know enough about the world and how it works to understand.
It's actually mad. MrBeast, the biggest YouTuber on the planet, said Andrew Tate inspired him to go onto loads of podcasts so he could just get trimmed down to short clips. And he literally went on a podcast run to try and replicate it.
And you have to base your worldview on probabilities.
Yeah.
Right? Like we said earlier, if I go stroke the lion, I'm probably going to get eaten. Yeah. There may be examples where the lion doesn't eat me, but I think it's a good worldview for me to hold for the preservation of my bloodline that I avoid the lions. So when you look at scenarios where you don't have all the information, you have to come up with the probability. So what is the probability that of the 4 or 5 or 6 people who ever make this show, which is the largest and most famous show amongst children in the world, which has a whole bunch of corporate sponsorships, a whole bunch of money behind it, taking into consideration the things I've said about how they try to get me to sell my soul, that one of them decides to very publicly do something which adheres with an agenda they are trying very hard to psyop the youth with. And then the leader of this channel, Mr. Whatever, he very calmly and very cucked says, yeah, it's good, I support them, and did it because he knows he's going to get in a lot of trouble if he doesn't.
A channel called SunnyV2 made a video about him being a nightmare for MrBeast, and someone said it feels really invasive for all the wrong reasons. Like, why did you make this? You delved into a man's marriage and shit. It's just getting off-putting and unnecessary. MrBeast said, yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare, he's my friend, and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to me off.
And you're going to sit here and say that that's all a coincidence and there was no corporate powers involved and no money involved and no one said to him, listen, you better support this transition because if you don't, you're going to lose your channel. Oh, okay. And you're telling me that this all just happened organically and there was no plan at all. If you believe that, then you're an idiot. Then you're an idiot. And it's a psyop. And psyops are slow and incremental. And that's why a 5-year-old who's watching it now, who doesn't even truly understand what's going on, by the time he's 15, 16, 17, when he's arguing, saying, well, no, because, you know, I know people who changed gender and they were happier than ever before. And I saw them before and then I saw them after and they were so happy and all their friends supported them. And that the psyop, they are after your kids. They are coming for your children.
Talking of children, when this first was announced, someone said, there goes a father figure to the kid he won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times, weak man times. Chris responded by saying, this is just more dog whistling, that somehow trans and GNC folks aren't safe around kids. Tucker begs for me to come back when I leave for like 2 days to film. He is so loved and so happy. Kids aren't born with hate. It's taught by people like you, and my child will only know love.
Everybody at home, because it is your children that are the future, which they want to control. When you have kids and you love them and you love your wife and you look into your beautiful smiling daughter or son's face, please understand that they are nothing but a tool for the Matrix and they are coming for them. They are coming for them. And if that doesn't panic you and you don't worry about that and you sit and say, oh, well, we'll just let them watch YouTube. Ah, it's just one of them became transgender. Oops. shit just happens. Oops. Well, then you're a dummy waiting to die. We're not allowed to say Mr. Beast's name, so I won't say it. But
you can't say Mr. Beast's name.
Mr. Beast.
You can't say Mr. Beast.
No, but here's the thing that's interesting. If there was any honor amongst that group, and I don't have a problem with this guy. I don't know this guy. Yeah. I'm more famous than him anyway, so...
Obviously, Tate was the most Googled man on the planet. He does not have a YouTube channel and he's never had as many subscribers. He's been banned on every platform, but everyone from the TikTok community knew his name as well. There's different audiences both these guys tap into, but who do you guys think is more famous?
We're going to probably meeting someday. I don't have a problem with him, but here's the thing that I find interesting. Let's remove the argument about transgenderism because they're going to sit and say that it's not his fault, he's born in the wrong body, blah, blah. And that's a dumb shithole I don't even want to go down. But let's remove it. Me as a man of honor, I believe that now, because of my massive influence, I have a responsibility. And I'll admit this now. There are clips of me that I made 10 years ago, which I don't think would be appropriate for 14 and 15-year-olds to see. Because I made them when I had no followers and no subscribers, and I was joking with my friends, and we were filming everything, and it didn't matter. And now I understand with massive power comes massive responsibility. And I've had to curate my message and be slightly more careful, knowing that every single word I say is watched. That's sensible. For you to become more famous and then be more careful about certain things you say or how you say them is the sensible thing to do.
Now, obviously, the main message is going to be that MrBeast does not advise any kids or have any bad influence, and that is true. But there has been streams that have got extremely awkward before that people have spoken about, where Chris Tyson was saying about MrBeast as a woman and certain things.
Make these bizarre jokes about Jimmy being female, making him incredibly uncomfortable.
Oh my God, Jimmy, look, they drew you. Jimmy, they drew you so well. It looks just like you.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Have been called out in the past and it's only going to get worse. MrBeast's influence is crazy when you factor in the amount of different languages this guy taps into as well. It's literally a global influence.
Involves sexuality amongst the lives of a bunch of people who shouldn't be thinking about sex yet. I would have enough honor to say, you know what, I've made enough money and I really need to do this. I resign. And I do it in private. Why would I do that publicly? Irregardless, please understand, because they're going to argue this, not understanding I'm smarter than all of them. Irregardless of how important it is to do, irregardless of the fact that you believe it's essential, even if I agree with you that it's essential, even if I agree with you that you need to do this because you were born in the wrong body, even if I agree with all that, don't we all agree that doing something so obviously sexual for children to observe and question is something that shouldn't be happening?
Yeah.
So even if you do want to do that, and even if I agree you should do that, you should still resign unless it's a psyop.
I think Andrew Tate's main point is that Chris Tyson wants to inspire other people to do what he did. A young kid might have that thought just once or twice and grow out of it and stick to what.
But yeah, man, I'm gonna just end this video here though. Let me know what you guys think about all of this down in the comment section, and overall just subscribe for more content. But my opinion on this whole situation, Andrew Tate does definitely have a point. MrBeast is a global name, you get what I mean? Like, he has different channel for different languages all around the world. So, and his target audience are kids, you get what I mean? His target audience are kids, you get what I mean? So if you get what I'm trying to say, you don't even need a YouTube account to watch this guy. I bet if you just type YouTube without a YouTube account, you're automatically going to see one of his videos on top of the YouTube page. So you get what I mean? Like, yeah, I mean, and he's kind of supporting this. He is supporting this. So yeah, man. Crazy, but I don't have too much to say about this situation. Do y'all think, let me know what y'all think, bro. Do y'all think, MrBeast is pushing an agenda like Andrew Tate is saying, or is he just like, is it just one of those situations where his friends decided to make this crazy transition and MrBeast was just there to say, hey, I support you. Yeah, you're still one of us, you're still going to be in the videos? Or do y'all think, they're definitely using this guy to push an agenda on children, bro? You let me know, because I have no idea, bro. You get what I mean? But, yeah, gonna end this video here, though. Let me know what you guys think, and peace out, man.